Hey guys, welcome. So in this video, I want to talk about 3 options for investing for your child or your children's future. So early this year, my wife and I had welcomed another baby into our family, and it got me thinking about how I could invest on behalf of my kids in future. One of my biggest regrets is not investing sooner and earlier in my life. Now that I'm in my 30s, I'm thinking more carefully about how I invest my money. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 unique options which you can use to invest in your child's future. So without any delay, let's begin. So option number 1 is a junior ISA. So many of you may be familiar with ISAs. ISAs are a UK government-backed scheme or structure, if you like, which allow for tax-efficient savings and investments. But what many people don't realize is that there are ISAs and ISA products specifically aimed at children and those who are under the age of 18. So in the current tax year, we're in the 2023 to 2024 tax year, the junior ISA is capped at a rate of £9,000. And how do they work? So essentially you've got 2 types of ISAs. You've got what is known as a cash junior ISA, where you can save cash in a bank account and any interest you earn is tax-free. The second type of ISA is what is known as a stocks and shares junior ISA. This is very similar to the adult stocks and shares ISA, and much the same way you can choose and pick individual stocks which you want to invest in. And consequently, any capital growth or any dividends that you earn through those stocks and shares will be sheltered away from any tax from the government. Now, which one's right for you? Well, actually, you are allowed to have both. You can actually have a cash junior ISA and a stocks and shares junior ISA, providing you don't max and go over the limit of £9,000 in a single given tax year. Now, what are some of the drawbacks of this option? So number 1, it only applies and benefits children who are under the age of 18. So if you have children who are now teenagers above the age of 18, unfortunately, this wouldn't really apply to them. Secondly, it only applies to those living in the UK. So some of you may have family or you may have aspirations to take your family abroad. Unfortunately, it only legally applies to children who are living currently in the UK. The other big drawback with a children's junior ISA is that they can only really withdraw any capital, any money you've invested in the ISA after they turn 18. Your child can, however, manage their account from the age of 16, but once again, they won't be able to draw down or withdraw any funds from the account until they reach the age of 18. Now, what does that mean? Essentially, it means your investment is locked away for quite a lengthy period of time. And if you're investing on, say, behalf of a very young child, in my case, a baby, you'll be investing for at least up to 18 years. So think carefully about how long you want to invest for and whether or not you need access to those funds earlier in life. And if so, you may want to consider using an adult ISA and essentially investing both your own funds and your children's funds into a single adult ISA, because you can draw down on an adult ISA and not be locked in for a long period of time. Now, one thing to say is that you can actually have a junior ISA if your child is abroad, but only if you work in the armed services or in foreign civil service. Now, the other drawback is that you cannot have an ISA if you have a child's trust fund. The Child Trust Fund was a scheme that was set up many years ago by the UK government. Unfortunately, is no longer accessible to new joiners, but the scheme still exists for those who paid into it historically. Unfortunately, you cannot have a junior ISA as well as having a child trust fund for your child at the same time. So that's a junior ISA in a nutshell. Now, the second option that you have when it comes to investing for your child or your children's future is to invest in what is known as a children's SIPP. So for those who aren't aware, a SIPP stands for self-invested personal pension. So many of us are familiar with pensions, but one of the biggest problems that pensions have is the inflexibility that comes with a pension. Once you invest into your pension, you have very little control as to how that pension is managed, how that fund is managed, or where your funds go towards in terms of asset classes that exist out there. So a SIPP in essence allows you to coordinate where your money is allocated, and that way you can better manage the returns from your pension. Now, the unique thing here is that a children's SIPP exists purely to serve your child's pension in future. So almost anyone in the UK under the age of 75 can open a SIPP. You can either open one for yourself or on behalf of someone else, such as a partner or your child. Now, the amount you can invest for your child's SIPP is up to a maximum of £2,880 in a given tax year. Now, the benefit of investing into a children's pension at such an early age is that they will realize and gain more from the power of compounding. Now, I'll talk about compounding in a separate video, but compounding essentially in a nutshell allows you to grow what starts off as a small nest egg into a much bigger pot of money or investment over time. So say in 50-60 years time, when your children are ready to retire, you'll have started investing at an early age from them, so hopefully they'll benefit from a much larger pension pot right at the end of their retirement, as opposed to starting investing into their pension say in their 20s or 30s, which is the case for most teenagers these days when they start to invest in their pension when they enter the world of work soon after university. Now, SIPPs are a great option if you want to invest for the future of your children. However, they do come with some drawbacks. So firstly, SIPPs are essentially self-managed and self-run. So if you know what you're doing and you know how to invest in the markets, into different assets, into different funds, then SIPPs could be a great way for you to gain more control. However, if you're a fairly new investor and you don't have much experience when it comes to investing, then it can be quite a risky thing to do when it comes to self-management. So SIPPs generally benefit those who know what they're doing when it comes to investing and investing in pension funds for the long term. SIPPs therefore carry some greater responsibility and greater complexity than say an ISA would do. Now, investing in SIPPs also comes with fees. Whenever you invest in a fund or whether you invest in a ETF, you are inevitably going to be paying fees, and these fees could be going through a platform. Now, higher fees are another drawback when it comes to having your own SIPP. You'll inevitably paying fees for investing into different funds and into different asset classes. So therefore, knowing about different fees will be a consideration if you're looking to govern and manage your own SIPP for your children. Now, ultimately, when it comes to investing, you are limited in terms of accessing the funds that you've invested, especially when it comes to pensions. You can draw down on pensions early in life, which many people don't realize. However, drawing down on your pension pot pre-retirement actually exposes you to tax and tax from the government. So think really carefully about how long you want to invest for and whether or not you're going to need access to that capital or that fund earlier in your life. It may be a consideration you want to make. The last and final option is something you may also know about, and that is premium bonds. So what many people don't realize is that you can in fact invest on behalf of your child towards premium bonds. You can hold up to a maximum of £50,000 in premium bonds at any given time. The bonds would therefore be managed by a parent or a legal guardian up until the age of 16 for the child. Now, you can in fact buy premium bonds as a gift as well, not just for your own child, but for other children in your family or family of friends and relatives. You can buy premium bonds from as little as £25. In essence, premium bonds are like a lottery. You earn cash prizes, and cash prizes can be anything between £25 and £1 million every month. Now, premium bonds are managed by the NS&I, the National Savings and Investments. This is a body created by the government. Essentially, it's a state-owned savings bank within the United Kingdom. Now, what are some of the disadvantages? Well, really, from personal experience and from what I've seen from others, premium bonds don't deliver a great return for your investments. So if you had £50,000, you'd probably be better off investing in other assets and other options out there rather than sticking them in a premium bond. Now, if you look at the annual rate of return for premium bonds, it's about 4.65%. That means for every £100 you invest in premium bonds, you will see a return of about £4.65 on average. Now, that's an average. You could see more, but you could see less, but the average is around 4.65. Now, 4.65% isn't a great return, especially when considering the current interest rate right now is 5.25%. So you would actually realize a better return by investing your children's investment into a traditional savings account. The other disadvantage is that holding money in a premium bond essentially prevents you from earning any interest whatsoever. So I'd think carefully before investing a large amount of money into a premium bond. So guys, that's it in a nutshell. Well, I hope you liked this video. I wanted to give you some insight and some ideas into how you can save for your children's future. It's really important that we educate our children on the benefits of financial management and investing, especially at an early age. And what better way to do that than to invest on their behalf, especially when they're at a very young age and they can learn about their investments as they grow older. So guys, I hope you like this video. Do like and subscribe to my channel for more content on money, on wealth, on investing. In the meantime, I hope to see you on a future video. Take care.